Funnels and follow-up. We're here.
We are here. Welcome to Funnels and Follow-up.
Are we clapping now? So what we're doing?
No, I was just like that was just for, making a point.
Oh, you're awesome.
I'm awesome. All right. So today on our show, we have Allan Fine. And Allan was born and raised in Toronto. And you know what that means? Toronto, Ontario, Canada. You know what that means, don't you, Barry?
He's very nice.
Well, besides that, there's the distinct possibility that he could be related to me because I've got like hundreds of cousins in Toronto.
Oh, boy.
Or the extended area of Toronto. Yeah. They're not all first cousins. In fact, none of them are my first cousins, but I know because I'm Italian anyway.
It doesn't matter.
So he came to Calgary in 1995 as a master fitness trainer. He taught and studied and taught fitness for about 25 years, which means, thank goodness, it's from like here up, so Allan can't judge.
So Allan is opposite me.
Allan is opposite you. He says, becoming a master is not about doing 4,000 different things. So for everybody out there that's trying to, be a jack of all trades, master of none, it's not about 4,000 different things. It's about doing about 12 different things 4,000 times. Master of marketing is what Allan is into now, specifically LinkedIn, social media, web design, and more. The Executive Edge is Allan's company, and it can help your company to succeed. What are people saying about Allan? A strategic sharpshooter. Allan consistently catapults his clients beyond the competition. So
I like that. A strategic sharpshooter.
A strategic sharpshooter, yeah. So with a desire to impact the masses in a positive way, Allan is also a devoted father and husband, and he calls that his best accomplishment. He better. Just saying. Starting in late 2012, Allan began niching on LinkedIn. I'm not even sure I knew what LinkedIn was in 2012 because it's the largest B2B database in the world.
In the world?
In the world.
In the world.
You can find, because remember, Facebook is not B2B, boys and girls out there. You can find Allan on LinkedIn leads.ca. That's LinkedInleads.ca. We'll have that up later. B2B lead generation service working through LinkedIn. He's literally helped hundreds of business owners over the last 20 years take their business to the next level. I am so glad to welcome Mr. Allan Fine.
Wait, yay! Here he is. Now we can all clap. Yay. Happy New Year, everybody.
Hello, Allan.
How are you 2020. Today? I want to know where the flying cars are.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're not here yet. They're not here yet.
But we do have same-day delivery from Amazon, so that's
right.
There you go. Right. That's impressive.
And more important,
other drones,
I think. So how are you, Allan? It's great to see you.
I'm doing great. I'm in cold and snowy Calgary, Alberta, Canada now. Yes, I was born in Toronto, and who knows, we might be related in some way. I have lots of people in Toronto I know, and cousins like you do.
Yeah.
And do their last names end in vowels, as all Italian names do?
Yes.
No, all of them are fine.
All of them are fine. Well, there you go. There you go. So you teach the power of LinkedIn, and you help people get a great profile, which I think is the thing that like 95% of people are missing on LinkedIn is great. No, not even a great profile. I think like 95% of the people on LinkedIn are missing a profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they usually have profiles, but the profiles usually like not filled out properly. Their picture, either no picture on there, no cover banner. So, and we're going to talk about all that. I'm going to give your readers and viewers some great tips and information today about LinkedIn and what they should do. Because really, it's probably one of the most under-leveraged social media sites in the world. I mean, people just don't know how to use it properly. So,
let me ask you this then. How did you decide that LinkedIn was where you wanted to niche to?
Well, I got in LinkedIn back almost about a year after it opened up. A buddy of mine said, "Hey, you should be on LinkedIn." I'm going, "What the hell is LinkedIn?" So I went on there, and and I saw the writing on the wall very early. I saw that as they grow their database, you're going to be able to go on there and connect with and talk to people who are your potential clients. And, even in 2020 nowadays, I say 99.9% of businesses have no idea how to use it properly still, which is really a shame.
It is. And one thing that I think people still think is the more connections, the better, regardless of the quality of them. Hey, I've got 1 million connections. How many of them do you really know?
Yeah. That's what, when people come to me and they say, well, I have 25,000 connections, and I ask them the simple question, how many of them have you talked to on the phone? And when's the last time you messaged them? And usually it's like, well, I've talked to a dozen on the phone and I haven't ever messaged any of them ever. So, like, why bother then, right? So, my whole thing is, let's make your connections strategic. Let's get the, the messaging happening. Suggest to your connections that you talk on the phone at least once to get to know them better. Really is like going to a networking meeting and, shaking someone's hand but never say nothing to them at all.
Okay, that's a good analogy. I like that analogy.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
And people who go to networking meetings all the time and you just go, well, nothing's happening for me. Well, just think of this for a second. This is going to bake your noodle. LinkedIn is the largest networking meeting, and it's happening 24/7. And you never have to leave your home, and you can wear your pajamas.
That's what we say about this show. You could wear your pajamas as long as you dress from here up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's interesting that you're saying that. I like that. It's a continuous 24/7 networking meeting.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem, I think, is getting through the junk, getting through the crap, getting through the people the business card dealers, the ones at networking events that just hand out business cards.
Exactly.
We have the same type of people on LinkedIn. How do you get around that mess?
Well, the first thing is to, make sure that you have some things done, like your ducks in a row. And for instance, having a phenomenal looking profile. Is there somewhere some way I can share my screen on my side?
I believe
there's a share screen button, I think, on the bottom here.
Yeah, there's a share screen button, and go ahead and put it up, and then we'll figure out where to get it up on the screen.
Okay, so share, and then here is my LinkedIn profile here somewhere. Here I am.
There we go.
Right. And so here's me.
And let me just say, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, we'll go ahead and have a link to Allan's profile so that when you're not driving and listening to the podcast, you can take a moment, look at Allan's profile, and see what you should be doing with your profile. So
yeah, just dissect it. It's pretty easy. A nice looking cover banner, I think, is very, very important. It shows people that you're professional. It also creates that, first impression that you really got your stuff together when you have a great profile. A nice picture, smiling. We've all seen people's pictures on LinkedIn what look like serial killers, and it's really, we have, right?
Yeah.
Or you see the picture of someone professional and they're doing beer bongs in Mexico on the vacation.
Oh, gotta love that. Gotta love that.
So I mean, you really want to make sure that you have those things done. Also, you can see this over here, right? My company. If you see a gray box over here, like you see for my train the trainer thing, I don't have this over here done properly, but this is old. But for your company page, make sure you have your company page, and make sure you create a company page and then have it connected to your profile. You'll know you do when you've loaded your square logo up to your company page on LinkedIn, and you can see the little icon here.
So, Catherine, what are you and I doing as soon as we're done with this interview?
As soon as we're done with this interview, we're going back over, although we have taken other LinkedIn courses, so we're not as bad as some people are. And yeah.
And then making sure you have a nicely written about section, which is, written in such a way that it solves your customers' problems.
Always.
People don't necessarily, think about or care about the fact that you're the CEO of your company.
Right.
They want to know, what can you do for me and what problems you solve for me?
And I think that goes with every aspect of your business and all parts of your messaging. It's not me. It's what I can do for you. How I can
exactly.
solve what pain points do you have and how can I solve that?
Exactly.
And there's something, Allan, that we teach our clients and people who follow us and everything is stop saying the word I. And if you read your LinkedIn profile and it sounds like your commercial, that sounds like you're going, I, and I know that was really annoying on your ears, but think about that. If somebody is reading that, that's what they're hearing. If they're reading that, if you're saying that, whatever it is, you have got to know what it is that you sell, and what you sell is a solution. It is not a widget. It is not a service. You sell a solution. And that's what Allan is telling you right now to put in there is the solution
Exactly.
section.
Yeah. And also, you know, not only is what's my solution I sell, but why is it for you and why am I different? Because, you know, usually when you go on LinkedIn, you can type in a phrase like, you know, marketing on LinkedIn. Well, look at the number of people we have, 51 million people who are in marketing on LinkedIn.
Right.
So, you know, why are you different? Why are you unique? Why are you better than other people? All those things need to be communicated on your profile.
And so, Allan, that brings me to the question. I cannot open up my email in the morning without having at least 5 messages. All right, that's an exaggeration. At least 1 message a day. And that is not an exaggeration. At least 1 message a day from someone who is a LinkedIn guru.
With the quotes.
With the
Gotta
quote,
put the quotes on there.
a LinkedIn guru that will get me more leads in my inbox than I could ever have imagined. What makes you different? Why are you unique?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I've owned my own digital website design and marketing company 20 years. So that gives me a great foundation on overall internet marketing and social media marketing, as well as for my LinkedIn lead generation program. I've been doing this 7 years now. So
there you have it. Now we're at the beginning of 2020, just to make this a little evergreen. So he's been doing it since 2013.
Exactly.
2012, 2013. So whenever you listen to this podcast, just do the math. Use your fingers if you have to, and
this podcast is going to be around while you use your toes too.
Right,
exactly.
And you know that he's not a schlep.
Exactly. I've been doing this a long time, and the data I'm collecting from my clients on a regular basis, the same way you go to a lawyer, right? You go to a lawyer, you say, knock me off a document, he's not writing it from scratch each time. He's going to his computer, he's getting a template out, he's sending it to one of his underlings, right. And they're copy replacing all the information for your information, but then he reviews it afterwards and makes it compliant. So you're not paying him for that, 3-4 hours of work. You're paying him for the 20 years of experience that he has doing this to make sure what he's doing is being done correctly.
So
absolutely. And I'm going to move into a pet peeve area, if you don't mind.
Right.
I have issues with so-called LinkedIn gurus, not you, but the ones out there that call themselves gurus, that experts that really aren't. Because some of the messages, I will say 95% of the LinkedIn requests I get are from lead gen experts, and they all start out the same way. Hey, I saw your profile and it's quite impressive. It's like word
yeah, I know, eh?
And I'm looking, going, how you haven't even seen my profile. In fact, I got one today looks quite impressive. I think we could do business together. Somebody in the pharmaceutical industry doing something with drugs, legal drugs, obviously. And I'm like, well, did you even look at my profile?
Yeah.
What in my profile makes you think I'm in the pharmaceutical industry and my audience would also be in the pharmaceutical industry? They don't look. And I think that's one of the biggest pet peeves I have. If you want to make a connection with somebody, actually make the connection.
Yeah.
Take the time to look at their profile, see what they do, see if there is some sort of fit. For the most part, if they say to me, I'm a LinkedIn lead gen expert, I don't connect with them. I
Yeah.
typically ignore it because I know what they're doing.
Well, and that's why it's so important that we create the relationship. And as you can see on my page here, let's go share my screen again.
Yeah, go ahead and pull it back up.
And then pull it back up again. My program is about relationship marketing. And that's really, really important. I had some guy from California contact me on LinkedIn asking me if I wanted to subcontract to him for my website design stuff. And I said to him, listen, buddy, you're doing this all wrong over here. And you never even, he just went, he connected with me or accepted his connection request, and he went right to the sale right away. Didn't ask me how I'm doing. Didn't even ask me if I need the service or I'm interested in working with this company. He said, hey, we're doing this over here with other companies. You should do this with us also. And I said to him, basically, you're not doing this properly. And he got mad at me saying, you don't know who I am. It's like, well, no one cares who you are. No one knows who you are. The old adage, no one will know how much you care care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
very, very true, and so true on LinkedIn. You have got to make sure that you're asking the questions to them to show them that you care, to show them that you've been on their profile before you send the ask, right? So, for my program and my connections and my clients, we never even ask for do the ask as far as, hey, do you want to be my client, until way through the messages. Probably 6-7 messages at least going back and forth until we get some engagement, until we joke around with them a little bit, right? There's just like going on. I wrote an article. If you look at my profile, you'll see, I think that, here, let's go open this up here. Stop trying to get me into bed on the first date. Linked in.
And I always say, they want to get married before you even go on the first date.
So here's my article I wrote. And I wrote a new version of it afterwards.
Yeah.
So here's my article. A little racy, but
I've gotten rid of so many people because they just want to sell right off the bat.
Yeah,
exactly.
I might just say that, in this day and age, you might want to say, don't try to get me to marry you on the first date. I don't know. I don't know if girls are the same as they were when we were younger and dating. Allan,
So I mean, it's really,
it's the same.
It's so important though.
It's
you wouldn't walk up to someone in a networking meeting and go, hey, you want to hire me? You'd ask them questions to find out how they are. Do they have kids? What's happening, right?
Yep. Although some people do that.
Yeah. And they doesn't go anywhere, right?
Absolutely. So think about this, people. If you are failing at LinkedIn, if you're failing in networking, when you're going to a networking meeting, are you asking for the sale right away? Are you just, Pez dispensing your business cards out to people? And then if the answer is yes, take a look at your LinkedIn profile and determine, maybe you're doing the same thing on your LinkedIn profile. And if not your profile, certainly look at some of the messages that you're sending out there. You may be doing the exact same thing. So, Allan, let me ask you, what are some of the results that your clients normally see when they do this relationship building and not, hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, exactly. Often, over some time, usually in the second, third, fourth month, we're making some pretty hefty sales. One of my clients who runs something called the Canadian Concrete Expo in Toronto, they came to me 3 years ago now, and they said, we're having troubles here. We can't get the people who want to talk to on LinkedIn, the big companies, the multi-billion-dollar companies, Lafarge, Lehigh Hansen, all those big construction concrete companies are not responding to us. So they hired me, and within 4 months, we did almost $500,000 in sales for them.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And it's just a matter of getting them in front of the right people. That's all.
And so now you're talking about multi-million-dollar companies and these big deals and these big sales. We're coaches, right? Smaller, we do, solo entrepreneurs, couple entrepreneurs, smaller service-based business. a lot of gurus on Facebook are doing Facebook challenges. Well, we're doing a Facebook challenge, but that's
Yes,
beside
that's a
the
good
point.
thing. It's a good thing. Let's not talk bad about that.
But a lot of gurus out there will go on and on and on about how you need to be doing things on Facebook, not LinkedIn, but Facebook, if you want to get the coaching clients, the photography clients, the improve your credit clients, the smaller clients. In other words, the smaller clients for the smaller solo entrepreneurs, couple entrepreneurs, not these big multi-million-dollar companies. What's your take on that?
Oh yeah, I mean, so the big clients, you can get on LinkedIn, but also smaller clients. Also, we're talking about $1, $2, $3, $4,000 per month sales. That's much easier to do on LinkedIn also. And the greatest thing about it is when you do the article posting and post posting on LinkedIn, you can create yourself as the authority in your niche, which is very, very important. So as part of my strategic plan for my clients is post content on your profile on a regular basis. So people think, and Facebook is great for doing certain things, but I think that LinkedIn, once again, is that, Facebook's, not ugly cousin, but but Facebook's cousin no one really talks to very much, or should talk to more, because they don't realize the value. I mean, there's just so much value on LinkedIn. I just think that companies out there don't understand or know what's possible. They think it's for job posting, or for getting a job, or for just doing some overall networking within the company. So you're in my company, let's talk on LinkedIn all the time together. No, it's for getting clients on a regular basis. So it's just a matter of knowing how to do it properly. And what I do on my Done For You program I showed you beforehand is we do the service for people, where we're doing like 90% of the work for you. So you can relax and know that you just have a steady stream of leads coming into your inbox and on your calendars. We even book people on people's calendars for them.
Wow.
Or create a calendar booking link. We use something called Meeting Bird, which is I think did for you guys. So either Calendly or a Meeting Bird or some other calendar, because we've all had the trying to book someone for an appointment and going back for 2 hours back and forth, which is a big waste of time. So, we just have people's calendars booked up all the time for these kind of things. Here's show you my calendar quickly here.
And we use a combination of schedule once and book like a boss, two different
Exactly.
And I think everybody should have one of those.
Yeah,
that saves time.
It really does. I mean, you go back and forth 12 emails just to get a time, right? Where you can just say, here's my schedule, find a time that's convenient for you.
And I have to say that in the beginning, I felt uncomfortable saying, oh, just, find something in my schedule. And I would get insulted when people would send me a link and say, find something in my schedule, until I spent a week trying to schedule something with somebody, going back and forth. And every time they would finally get back to me, that day and time was closed. And then it went, aha, I'm not being rude, and you're not being rude. If you send them a link, you're being rude if you go back and forth, because you're wasting their time and energy.
Yeah. So having a calendar booking app is a system, right? And we all need, as entrepreneurs, we need as many systems. So I try to create the systems for my clients that makes their life easier, not harder.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about, because especially when we're dealing with entrepreneurs and business owners in the category that Catherine and I work with, which is the solo entrepreneur, the couple entrepreneur, basically wearing every hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to value their time and you want to create systems in their business and their lives to make things easier for them, not harder for them.
Right. We got into business for ourselves for a specific reason, and usually it's lifestyle.
Yeah.
And there's the old joke that I work 80 hours a week so I don't have to work 40 hours a week. But the reality is we don't want to do that.
No.
We got into this so we could work 20 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week and make more money doing it.
Exactly. And also work when you want to. If you want to be up between midnight and 2 p.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning and do your work as an entrepreneur, you have the choice of doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Allan, you're talking about the done-for-you services that your company provides. What other services do you do? Courses? Do you do classes? Do you do done with you services or
Yep.
teaching people? Tell us
Yep.
about that.
Yeah. So on the program, I'll share my screen again for you. So here's the share, and then here's back to the website again. So we have the done for you service. We have something called foundations, where I train someone how to do it themselves. It's less expensive, but then they're doing the work for themselves. Also, we have, I think I gave you the information, we have 2 webinars coming up.
Yes.
And a live event in Calgary happening on January 31st. We have a whole full day of LinkedIn training and information. It's going to be phenomenal. Myself and myself and Rochelle Wiseman.
Oh, beautiful.
Let's go to my
to
profile here again.
To register for that full day event, Allan, the link is right there on the screen, cohencoaching.com/LinkedIn1.
Yeah. So here's the
LinkedIn1. And this is now no longer an evergreen podcast. What is the date of your one-day event?
January 31st.
January 31st, folks. So you've got
2020.
Yeah.
2020.
And then
2020.
and then 2 webinars coming up, one tomorrow and one on the 14th.
All right. So January 7th and January 14th. And for our listeners, for our podcast listeners, again, it's cohencoaching.com/LinkedIn and the number 1. For our podcast listeners, LinkedIn and the number 1. Go there, because if it's past the date of the one day, if it's past the date of the webinar, if it's past any of those things, we are going to make sure that that page at the very least has information for you to get in touch with Allan, for you to update your LinkedIn profile, because it's huge. It's huge. You want to know what, your friend's new baby or new grandbaby looks like, or whatever, or what they drank.
That's Facebook.
Go to Facebook. You want to build your business. You want to get clients. You want to network outside. So we're here in Phoenix, Arizona, right? So we've got this,
which is warmer than Calgary, by the way. Let me tell you.
Much warmer, Allan. I don't even want to tell you. But we've got this 50-mile radius that we are going to, drive to and network in person. And we don't only want to work with people in Phoenix, Arizona. We want to continue to work with people literally all over the world. How are we going to do that? LinkedIn. Tell us a little bit more about that, Allan, how you can expand your geo zone.
Yeah, well, the first thing is LinkedIn now has over 650 million people on it worldwide. And that, once again, it gives you the reach. And not only does it give you the reach, but something I didn't really realize till I started doing this after about year 1 or 2, I was getting so many leads, and I have so many leads coming in from my business on a regular basis. It also gives me the choice of who I want to work with.
That's huge.
That's huge. Who will pay the money I want to, who will be nice to me. Unfortunately, we've all worked with people and companies that we found out after the initial honeymoon period, they're not that nice, unfortunately. And that's a nightmare. And I've actually we've all had to fire clients at some point in time, because they're challenging. I had one client who used to talk to me on the phone all the time, and they'd be swearing like a sailor. And it's just like, I asked them very nicely, said, listen, when we talk on the phone, there's no need to, use so much profanity. Yeah, the odd one here or there, but it was like every second word was F this and F that. And
by the way, that was not me. For those of you out there in podcast land that know me personally, it was not.
It wasn't Kat. It wasn't Kat.
It might have been our friend Jay, but we won't go.
Who knows? but I mean, it wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to pick and choose who you work with, because you just have so many things coming in your funnel. On average, we're seeing anywhere between 5 to 15 telephone sales calls booked every single week, on top of everything else you're doing. And, I mean, if you're having, 5 to 15 new sales calls, 20 to 60 new ones a month on top of what you're doing now for yourself, that gives you a whole bunch of freedom. And then people also tell me, hey, listen now, I'm getting way too many leads. I need to, pause things or slow things down. Definitely we can slow things down for you on our side, so you're not getting so many leads at one time. You can follow up, and you can catch up on things. But being able to have the freedom of choosing who I want to work with, for me, that was a game changer.
Yeah, and for our viewers and listeners, wouldn't that be a terrible problem to have?
Oh yeah.
Having too many leads coming in?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You may not want to work with somebody who, whatever, curses too much. There's somebody out there who loves to talk like a sailor and wishes that all their clients would swear like sailors. Get your LinkedIn profile all done. Get the things that you need done. Get into Allan's webinar. Get onto Allan. Get into Allan's class. If you can get up to Calgary, great. If you can't, we know Allan's got a bunch of other things. What's the most impressive thing that you did mention the company in Toronto? What else? What super impressive thing has happened?
One of my clients is a investment counselor, like an investment person.
Yeah.
So, we were working on their profile, trying to get them relationships, because for an investment person working with somebody, it's like getting married almost. You want to make sure you pick the right person. They closed a $5 million portfolio last month.
Oh,
which for investment people, that's recurring income for them. So he probably is going to get $5,000 to $10,000 in recurring income every single month.
Yeah,
that makes a difference in in your lifestyle, right?
And let me say that when we picked out our investment person, I did do a smidge more research than when I went on a date with Barry and then moved cross country to be with him. So there you have it, folks.
There you go. It makes a difference, right? So I've seen some pretty amazing things happen with my program. And also one other thing that I noticed, about 2 or 3 years ago, was that sending messages out on LinkedIn and no one's responding, but all of a sudden it came to like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th message, and all of a sudden they responded, and I closed the deal. So for me, that was also like, oh, I don't have to, people who don't respond right away, they may respond eventually, right?
Yeah.
That's it. And that's part of the follow-up. I mean, we always say 5 to 12 touches before you get anything.
Exactly, right?
So yeah.
It's the same, the same rules apply. The same rules apply. The thing is, sometimes we all get, kind of stupid, and we go, oh, well, this is a different medium, and therefore, these rules don't apply. Oh my gosh, let me try and reinvent the wheel. But there's no need.
Yeah, exactly. And or you do it for a month or two and go, this isn't working at all, and you abandon it altogether. Is that old cartoon you see of the miner, or one of 7 dwarves working in a mine, and he's like this close to the wall that has diamonds and rubies and gems on the other side, and he goes, oh well, I've been doing this for a long time now, I'm going to give up now, right? And he would have gotten this a little bit further, he would have gotten hit in gold.
Exactly. And there's even a book set, what is it, 7 Inches from Gold or something like that?
Yeah.
If you ever go to the Golden Nugget Hotel in Las Vegas, there is a giant nugget of gold, and people had looked for it before and were mere inches away from it. And then
and that's also how they keep you at the slot machines in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know that next one's going to be a winner.
It may be, and sometimes it is, right? I also know I gave you guys a profile PDF to share with your viewers.
Yeah, I've got that here. Let me put up the link for that.
Yeah,
there we go. So this is going to help you improve your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
You have people looking at your profile, and then sending you this, basically what I call spam messages, because it's just, they don't care. But if your profile really looks good, it's going to make a difference with who's going to connect with you, also who's going to take that initiative to connect with you. So I love this profile. I was going over it before, and it's really cool. There's a lot of information in there.
And for those of you who are listening in your car, yes, it'll be on the podcast page, but if you're just listening, it's cohencoaching.com/linkedinprofile.pdf. So cohencoaching.com/linkedinprofile.pdf. So Allan sent us like boatloads of stuff to share with you guys, and we're so excited. What are some of the important things that they're going to need on their profile, Allan? I know this PDF covers a lot of them, but give us some highlights. What to do on your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I think the first thing is a great profile picture. And nowadays, with smartphones being such amazing cameras, don't worry about going to a professional photographer and wasting your time. Sorry to all the professional photographers out there, but you can really just have your husband or wife get dressed up, look professional, shave, do your hair, all the things you need to do. I tell people, if you're a guy or a girl even, and you're in business and you're doing a business company, like business coaching, wear a dark suit jacket, a lighter shirt, suit and tie, smiling. So important you're smiling.
Always.
You want to make sure you look friendly, and not weird, creepy smile, but nice smile, right? But we've all seen it before. We've seen people with terrible profiles. So, on the...
Now I have to go look at my picture, make sure I'm smiling.
On the webinar, I'll be sharing all this information.
We have a professional photographer, and we do recommend her highly. And get the links over there. But that's if you're here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, and hopefully my sister-in-law doesn't see this, although I have told her this one. My sister-in-law is blonde. She has fair skin. She wore a peach-colored shirt against a tan background. And she said to me, "Does this look professional enough?" No, it did not. You need to have a little bit of contrast so that you don't look like you're having a blank screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Smile was lovely, Sharon. Really, your smile was lovely. Everything else.
Sometimes people will send me those, and I'll just Photoshop them. I'll cut them out of the picture and stick them on a new background, just so they look, have there's business backgrounds, office backgrounds on Google. I'll just cut them out of there and stick them on a business background to make their picture and themselves pop out.
Absolutely.
Right. And what you said is just so important, that it's a professional looking picture. If you're a business person, have it look professional. This is not the Facebook beer bong picture that you're going to have.
Or is this your dating profile picture, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. Well, I saw that the other day. I saw a lady on LinkedIn who was, professional business person, coach, whatever. And, the picture she had, it unfortunately looked like she was working on an escort agency of some kind. And it's just like, wow, so I reached out to her and said, "Listen, you're very good looking. You look like a nice professional person. Please redo your profile picture." She wasn't inclined even. I just sent her, and she said, "Thanks. I was thinking of doing that anyways, but I appreciate your input." And I sent her a couple of examples. So.
And here's the other thing. If you started using LinkedIn when LinkedIn started, how many years ago did LinkedIn start, Allan?
Like 14 years ago.
Okay. You need a new picture. Yeah. If you haven't updated it, get the new picture.
Yeah.
You're getting old, deal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Your high school graduation picture is not what you need in there when you're 5 years old.
No. Yeah. I saw that the other day on someone was doing a sales page, and the picture they had in the sales page, it looked at least 20 years old.
Yeah.
Because they're doing a live video, doing a video on the sales page. You could tell their picture was old. So my picture's a little bit old. My picture on my LinkedIn profile is probably about 6 years old. So I probably should update it also. But it's not 20 years old. So
yeah,
I mean, there you have it. It's not 20 years old.
It's something that Catherine says all the time. If you're putting a picture like that up there, what else are you lying about? It's as simple as that. Yeah, you want to look good. You don't need to relive your youth on your LinkedIn profile picture.
Right. And if you're still breathing, you look good.
Yeah.
If you're still breathing,
exactly.
That's mine. Now,
so another thing that's very important, also want to share with your viewers, is recommendations. So recommendations, do a screen share again on my site here. Give me a second just to do a screen share here and go back to my profile. So recommendations are these things at the very end. It's like Google reviews, right? So it's one thing for you to say how great you are. It's another thing for people to say how great you are. So just, you want to have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of great recommendations from people.
And,
so,
and those are more like reviews, because I don't know if LinkedIn still does. I remember when they first came out with recommendations. Do you recommend this person in this category, for blah, blah, blah? And you just, people.
Well, that's actually this endorsements. That's this one here. So review recommendations are basically like testimonials.
Yeah, which is super important.
Oh, I can't tell you how important. So, people have come to me afterwards going, you know what? One of the reasons I called you is because you have you had like 45 recommendations. Well, I have 52 recommendations, but, really, really important. You just have just a ton of recommendations. Can't stress that enough.
And how do you get recommendations? Because we have a service, but I don't think it links to LinkedIn to get recommendations. You don't want to ask people too many times to do the same thing over. What are some tips you can give?
Yeah. So if someone's giving you a recommendation already on, let's say, another platform,
right?
Like, your Google reviews or your website or Facebook, say, listen, you can reach out to them and go, hey, you can send them a customized note when you click on the recommendation request button on LinkedIn. Say, listen, you gave me this great recommendation on Facebook. I would love to have this over here. Here is the recommendation you gave me on this other platform. If you want to just copy and paste, you want to change it a bit, here it is. Go ahead. Here's the recommendation. Write it out for them first.
Yep.
Make it easy so they can just copy and paste. They can change a few things in 2 seconds. One of the biggest challenges I see for getting recommendations and reviews is, number one, they don't know what to say. And number two, taking the time to actually do it. If you can make that system easier for them, you're going to get a whole lot more recommendations and reviews.
Right. So when you send the recommendation request, it's giving them the link back to actually click on it to put the recommendation in there. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
You're giving them the content.
Exactly. Just put the content in there already, and this makes it so much easier for them. And when I say to them, I say, hey, listen, here's what you could say if you haven't gotten one from them at all ever. I wrote this recommendation for me just to make it easier for you. Feel free to change it.
Absolutely.
Always I say that. Very, very important. And usually the recommendations I get are pretty close to what I wrote already, because people are just busy. They're just so busy all the time.
Yeah, and it's very true. I mean, think about when somebody asks you for a recommendation. You sit there and it takes a few minutes. And how do you want to say this? And okay,
and then your kids start screaming, and you got to make dinner, and before you know it, you forgot to do it.
Yeah,
it's insane. So absolutely, write the recommendation. I know I'm terrible at that. It took me a year to write a recommendation for somebody.
Yeah.
That I would see on a monthly basis, and she'd go, I know I didn't write the recommendation for you. And I go, I know I didn't write it for you to back to me either. So it can get a little insane. Do it.
It can. Yeah, do it for them.
Time block. Mondays, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. I'm going to just write recommendations and send them out to my clients.
Yeah. I micromanage myself on my calendar. So I have my Google Calendar. I have my Outlook calendar. They sync together. The software you can use for that also make things as a system. So people book your LinkedIn meetings with you, and this goes right in there like an automatic system.
Everything's got to be systematized. I mean, that's the key here. That's the key here.
Yep.
Okay.
What should everybody be doing on LinkedIn? Tell us something that people are not doing on LinkedIn that they should be doing.
Video. So I'm getting into video. So my big thing for 2020, last year I wrote an article on LinkedIn for what the word was for LinkedIn for 2019. It was collaboration. My big word for 2020 is get into video marketing. Video marketing can be easy. It can be really easy to do. You can go on eBay or Amazon. You can buy a tripod that connects to your phone. You can use a remote clicker that will just turn it on for you, so you don't have to worry, you know, go there and press the button and come back again. Just click the button, it turns on. It doesn't have to be super professional, but you can make it look super professional with downloading some very, very simple software programs. I'll be teaching that in my workshop, my one-day workshop. What I use, it's not expensive, it's not super elaborate at all. It's just very, very simple. But video marketing with the captions of what you're saying on the bottom, so that people can see the actual wording. So people who you know don't have a speaker set up for a moment. So there's a website. I think it was I have to remember the name of it. I wrote an article. Look at my profile. There's an article. Actually, my website here is my website again. I'll just find the article here. I wrote about this. There's a website you can go to. I pay like $20 a month. I can load up as many videos as I want to. And from the audio and the video, it'll transcribe your text.
Ooh.
Yeah, and those captions are huge. I mean, I have speakers, but I know if I'm looking at a video real quick, if I know it's a short one, I don't want to have the sound playing because it might disturb Catherine. Or could disturb
so here it is. I'm gonna pop this into here's my website. I'm gonna pop this into the chat box for what we're doing right now. You can share this with your viewers. Absolutely. And that'll have the link to the website I found after doing 10 hours of research on the best and most inexpensive, easiest way to put captions on your videos. So LinkedIn has the ability of adding what's called an SRT file, which is the caption file afterwards. And on this website that you'll see in the blog post, you just go in there, you upload your video, and then you click on a button. You gotta do that. You gotta pay I think $15 or $20 a month for it. But then it'll take each sentence or each line, whatever, and it'll break it out for you. So you can go in there and quickly, edit the words to actually match what you're actually saying, because it's not always 100% accurate, but it's very fast, very easy. It creates the SRT file. Also, I noticed that something I did on my very first video I did, which I didn't do this. Here's my first video here that I tried doing this on here. Where's my LinkedIn here? LinkedIn, here it is, right here. I was going to share my screen with you a second again. So here's my hit, and share a screen, and share, and here it is. So you can see my video here on my profile, but you see the little caption thing at the very bottom here?
Yeah.
That has the information.
Right.
What I do for my next video is put a little banner that my video gets sandwiched between, like my logo on top in the banner, a little banner on the bottom that my caption stuff can go onto. So when it does this, it's not on the actual video, it's on these little banners. So I'm gonna do that next time.
And there you go. It
is easier to read.
Yeah, video is huge. Now I don't know if it's rolled out completely to everybody yet, but I know LinkedIn was starting to do LinkedIn Live to be able to live.
Yeah, I applied for it already. I'm still waiting. Yeah, so if you don't get accepted to LinkedIn right away for LinkedIn Live, mostly it's rolled out in the USA. Which one thing that bugs me about LinkedIn is it's like, well, I'm in Canada, man. What's wrong with Canada? What are you against Canada? Right. LinkedIn is like, USA. For instance, there's a thing on, there's a thing on LinkedIn for hiring a pro. It's called LinkedIn Pro.
Right.
That very few people know about. It's only available in the USA.
Well, that's because, they don't want to do it in Canada. No one in Canada is going to complain because you all are so nice up there.
Thank you and sorry. Exactly, but it would be nice if they did roll it out to Canada, because I'd love to be on there as a professional in my business.
Sure. So they're rolling all this out. Any closing comments you'd like to make? Something that we didn't cover that you just want to let everybody know about?
Yeah, download the LinkedIn app to your phone also, and put on your phone in your note files pre-formatted messages that when people are talking to you on LinkedIn, as opposed to having to write every message from scratch, you copy and paste, and then just add their name in there and maybe a couple of key points you want to change on there. But once again, a system for using LinkedIn mobile app, that when you're sitting there, let's say in the doctor's office or somewhere else, and you're waiting for appointments to happen, and you're sitting there just reading a magazine, go on LinkedIn for 10 minutes and get some work done. It's very easy to do.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it really makes a big difference.
All amazing stuff, all, professional stuff. LinkedIn is where you need to be as a professional. Find Allan, by the way, for those of you who are watching the video or watching this on YouTube, Allan only has 2 L's in his name, not 3.
Yeah. Allan was typing away at the very beginning here, trying to get on this call here.
And so it is Allan, Allan, fine. Like everything is fine and dandy. So it's Allan, Allan, fine. Look him up on LinkedIn. Take a look at what he's doing.
And
So
his
profile
Calgary.
link on there here.
Yeah, I've got your profile link up there already. And it
great.
actually, let me just go ahead and show that. There we go.
Right, perfect.
LinkedIn.com/
Send me an invitation request. I'd love to connect with you and actually talk to you on the phone afterwards, rather than just having you on my connection list. We'll talk.
That's a neat trick.
That's a neat trick, to pick up the phone, which I know a lot of people hesitate to do, but it's something that we need to do.
Yeah.
Allan has given so much great stuff. If you're listening on the podcast, take a moment to go to cohencoaching.com and look up the podcasts and get all of Allan's links.
Yeah,
all of
the
Allan's
webinar links.
You really need to up your game with LinkedIn. Stop futzing around on Facebook. I mean, it's nice, it's good. Your clients may be on Facebook. It depends on what you do. Your clients may be on Facebook. And your clients are definitely on LinkedIn. Your collaborative partners are definitely on LinkedIn. The people, business to business, that you need to know to do your business are most assuredly on LinkedIn. Be a professional. Be a professional there. Go ahead and download Allan's information. Update your profile, and if you can, get on his webinar and get with him. The course is amazing. The webinar is going to be amazing. I can't wait to get onto it and get with Allan.
For sure. Well, thank you so much, Barry and Kat. Thank you for having me today. Sure appreciate it.
Thank you,
Allan, and everybody else. We will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.